Hey, how's it going? My name is Weston and welcome to my channel where it's my mission to provide you with a fitter pill to swallow. Now, if this is your first time checking out my channel or viewing any of my videos and you enjoy the content that I'm providing, I would definitely recommend that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And also, feel free to drop a comment below if you have any questions or have anything specific that you'd like to see me cover in the future to help you on the path to reaching your health and fitness goals. Before we go into applying everything that we're talking about here today, first, let's talk about the plank as an exercise itself and the purpose that it serves. A plank is going to be an anti-extension core stability exercise. Essentially, what that means is the whole purpose of the plank is to have you work to create stability around your midsection and spine, ultimately preventing spinal extension or that extreme arching in your back while you're maintaining that prone position on the floor and gravity is trying to pull your waist down to the ground. One common mistake I often find when it comes to performing a plank is that it can be easily oversimplified. So, for example, if I just get down there in that position and just hang out there for as long as I can, that's how it's done. When in reality, when it comes to a stability exercise, you really want to be focusing on that specific form and the stability aspect of that. When it comes to creating stability, one thing that's important to focus on is creating muscle tension and engaging everything that you want to be engaging to maintain that proper form that we're talking about. Now, in turn, if you're able to create all that tension in those muscle groups that we're applying this to, that will result in you maintaining a more stable position intentionally instead of just kind of getting that oversimplified hang out for as long as I can. So with that being said, let's go down to the floor and check out a little bit of what we're talking about here. First off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate what I mean when I describe this oversimplified plank. And following that, we're going to take everything that we're talking about here and applying it to a better plank, or what I like to call as well an active plank. First off, checking out this oversimplified plank here. It's easy enough for anybody, whether you're at home, at the gym, to get down to this body straight position. Oftentimes, what you may see is a little bit more of a back arch and butt up in the air, as well as the longer someone holds this for, their hips kind of start going down toward the ground here as it becomes more challenging. As we've been talking about, the plank is a stability exercise. In that position there, well, yeah, maybe I felt my abs working a little bit, I still wasn't creating all of that muscle tension in the places where I should be that in turn are going to create that stability, which is the focus of the exercise. For this better plank, what we're going to do is be activating our core more intentionally, as well as working our glutes and achieving what I'm going to refer to as a posterior pelvic tilt. In turn, we are going to be engaging a lot more of what we should be to stabilize our spine while holding this plank position here. Whether you're standing at your desk, looking at your phone, feel free to try this out as we go. First and foremost, we're going to learn what we need to do with our core and our hips before we go down into that plank position. What I'd like you to do is you're going to take one hand and place it at your sternum, and you're going to place your other hand at your belt. From here, squeeze your butt tight like you're trying to pinch a penny, and then pull your abs down in the front. So right now, I feel my glutes tight. My ribs are pulled down flat with my core, and I feel this squeeze and engaged. This position here and this posterior pelvic tilt and core engagement is going to be our most stable and optimal positioning for this better plank. Coming down here, as I apply this, I'm going to start maybe with my butt up a little bit higher. That's going to allow me to have the space in squeezing my glutes tight into that posterior pelvic tilt and pulling my core down. Already, I feel my hips much more stable. I feel my spine much more stable. and I feel like my back is most likely looking very flat. Lastly, what we're going to do for this better plank is we are going to actively engage our core by applying a pulling pressure on our elbows. Putting this all together, we go down to that plank position. If you need to, start with your hips a little bit higher. We posterior pelvic tilt and pull our core tight. Once we achieve that glute squeeze that we want to hold there and that posterior pelvic tilt, I'm going to ask you to drive your elbows down toward your toes. Putting it all together, I come up, I glute squeeze tight, core's locked in, and then I give a little bit of an elbow pull in toward my toes, and I immediately feel my core activated. So my glutes are tight, my core is engaged, I already feel this burning, and if you were to walk up to me and try to knock me over here, I'm going to be a lot less likely to move in comparison to if I was doing that oversimplified version where I'm not creating that muscle tension in all the right places to stabilize what I want to be stabilizing. To sum all this up, the better plank that we're discussing here is going to result in you engaging more of the muscles you should be when doing a plank, ultimately creating more muscle tension, which leads to greater levels of stability, which, as we learned before, is the purpose of the plank as an exercise. I would definitely recommend that whether it's right now, a little bit later when you're at home or at the gym, to give this better plank a try and drop a comment below to let me know how it went. Was it easy? Was it hard? One thing you might find is that the better plank here, you're going to feel your core working a lot more. In turn, you might not be able to hold it for as long, but it's going to be more efficient because you're going to be getting more work in the time that you can hold it for. If you like the content provided here and you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe while you're dropping that comment, and I look forward to catching you here next time.